birthday, John. 22 years old. And I threw this together at the last moment, but first thing I thought of, what's changed in the Dees' life? And I think the biggest and most surprising thing is the man has a job next year. But I've known John for 4 years, and so I'm going to take the next couple moments to predict the top 5 ways in which he loses his job over the next year. The 5th way John will lose his job next year. He's discovered in the break room stuffing his backpack full of bagels, diet soda, and it's for in-office use only, John. His boss finds John's Facebook profile and reads his favorite books. They are Lolita, Death in Venice, A Clockwork Orange, and The Immoralist. Puts 2 to 2 together and... It's not looking good. I think no one got good.
That's all you really need.
That's all you need. John tries to game his female boss, but she's not buying his cubing, negs, or his high value. Wears swim trunks and a sausage shirt to Casual Friday. And the most likely way I find John no longer being in his job 6 months from now, a new daycare facility opens with Now, I'm going to make some more predictions about your future. I predict after John gets fired, he ends up in the position that we all figured he would end up in, and the position that all his years in college had prepared him for. I'm, of course, speaking of Sokol's secretary, which is just waiting for you. But this new year, I think John's going to turn over many new leaves. He's going to go from being very poor to very cheap. He's going to stop being the creepy 4th year that still lives in Maspolevsky and become the creepy consultant.
Actually, that's the first one to tell me.
I looked into it. You're actually not allowed to, John. And so, I predict 6 months after John gets out of Max Polevsky, his eyes will adjust to normal lighting, and for the first time in the last 4 years, realize just how pale he is. Alright. I have that you're finally able to afford a gun to go with a box of bullets you put on layaway 4 years ago. I also see John in the new year entering his first committed relationship, and as a result, losing most of the muscle mass in his right forearm. We all know that that's not going to be enough to make John lose his right forearm muscle mass. In fact, in the new year, I see John following OJ's lead and writing his own novel entitled, If I Did It, the fictitious tale of how I would have lost my virginity. In fact, his repeated sexual frustrations lead John to briefly come out of the closet. But he soon realizes that the clothing and the hygiene cost too much. In fact, he experimented this earlier, this last Christmas break, going to California. And although he said his trip was a positive, he was utterly disappointed with San Francisco. Apparently all the cute preteen boys were already taken by better-looking 20-something perverts.